You're listening to the Health Powered Productivity Podcast by RaderCo. I'm Marcey Rader, founder and chief productivity lead. This podcast's mission is to give you and your team bite-sized, time-saving, focus-boosting, health-improving tips that you can implement right away. Now, on with the show. Today's episode is a guest episode by Judith Guertin, RaderCo Productivity Specialist and author of Beyond the Estate Plan Guide, Important Details Your Family Needs When You Aren't Here to Tell Them. I loved Judith's easy to read and use guide that is truly a gift for your family if something were to happen to you. I even got a copy of her book for each of my family members for Christmas last year, and I asked them to complete it by the following Christmas as a gift to me and to everyone else in our family. This episode, she talks about an ethical will, and it is a beautiful way to celebrate your loved ones. I hope you enjoy.
What is an ethical will, and why should you consider leaving one for your family? One of the biggest aha moments I had when writing my book, Beyond the Estate Plan, Important Details Your Family Needs When You're Not Here to Tell Them, was discovering a tool called an ethical will. It's not a legal document. It's a written account of some of the fundamental things about you and your life. The ethical will is where you'll tell your story. It's more than just those data points about where you were born, where you lived, went to school, who you married, how many children you had, and what you did for work. It is the things that you want your descendants to know about the person that you are, how you became that person. It's about your values, your aspirations for them, and more. Here's an example of a question that you might answer. Who are the people that you found most influential and why? I remember that when my son was still quite young, he asked my father-in-law, who spent summers with us in her home along with my mother-in-law, to write down the stories that he had been telling him as he was growing up. He didn't want anything else from them for Christmas, and that year he got his wish. When we received it, I remember being so moved by the content that I had copies made for all the family members so that we could all have this treasure as well. It was as if Joe was still in the room, telling us his stories. You could almost hear his voice. There were moments of great hardship, especially in his youth and during his time in the Army during World War II in Europe. There were also lessons of friendship, lifelong connection, honesty, true love with his wife Ruth, who was the love of his life for over 65 years, and how he built that life up for his family. There were rich stories about how he was treated by others and how that treatment shaped how he treated others. His lessons about self-worth and how we are all worthy of dignity and respect. There were so many examples about how to stand up for what you believe in, and so much more. These stories and the values they imparted will be with us always. Believe me, it was a gift beyond measure. So by now, I bet you're a little curious about how to create an ethical will for your family. Now, the will is based on questions, and there are many categories of questions you can answer. If it seems daunting, you can start with the straightforward questions that tell the reader about you, about your family, your professional life, and your life experiences. And once you've completed these detail-type questions, you can move on to your stories, what I like to call the heart questions. These are the questions that I'm most drawn to. Like I described in the story about my father-in-law, these entries give the answers to the questions about how you felt, how others made you feel, and what touched your heart. There are hundreds, probably thousands of questions that you could ask. You can even make up your own. But let me give you some to get you started. Number 1, what would you most like to be remembered for? That's a deep question. Number 2, what are the family traditions that meant the most to you? Was it something around holidays, around summer vacations, around travel, nightly rituals at the dinner table? Think about it. We all had family traditions. So which ones can you impart? Number 3, tell me about your hopes for the future. what you hope to pass on to the generations after you. What did you learn in your life that fulfilled you, that you'd like to have your family have that experience, just as you did? Number 4, when life gets hard, what did you do? And what do you hope that they'll do when they encounter life's hard moments? That's a really good question to answer, because often we may not show what happens behind the scenes, and it will be helpful for your family to see how you surmounted the problems in your life. Number 5, tell me an instance where you used your belief in a higher power and how it helped you. I don't know about you, but I can think of lots of instances where my belief in a higher power helped me to move on and to find what I needed to do next in my life. That's a great question. Number 6, what is the one thing that you hope all your family members will get to experience? Is it something from your travels? Is it something that you read? Is it a beautiful piece of art that you got to see live? All sorts of experiences could qualify for that one thing. What's yours? Number 7, what gives you joy? That's a great question. What gives you that happy feeling? Now, my son would tell you it's organizing for me, but there are way better things than organizing. The Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, the Pacific Ocean, Hawaii, you name it. There's so many images in my mind that give me joy. What are yours? Number 8, what is your fondest memory from your childhood? I can remember a picture of me holding my very first fish. I don't know why that's a fond memory from my childhood, but I just look at the look on my face and I know that it was a fond memory. What's yours? What is your most treasured possession? Could be anything. What's yours? And number 10, who are the people who have had the greatest impact on the different phases of your life? Childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, adulthood, and even in retirement. Who are those people? Aren't those powerful questions? Just remember, be sure to indicate somewhere in the document who you'd like them shared with. Write what you feel. Practice daily. Get out of your head and write what's on your heart. I think when you do this, it will not only change what you leave as your legacy for your loved ones, but you just may find that there will be some deep changes within you, your heart, and your mind as you give voice to the answers to these questions. I'm cheering for you as you start your ethical will. May your family be blessed with what you share with them. Thank you, Marcey, for giving me this opportunity to share this with your listeners. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to the RaderCo Health Powered Productivity Podcast. The resources mentioned are linked in the show notes. We encourage you to check out our recommendations page on helloraderco.com/recommendations, which lists all our favorite products and services. If you found this podcast valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone you know that could benefit. If you want an eye-opening process to plan and reflect on, giving you the superpowers to see your remarkable accomplishments, experiences, and key lessons earned along the way, check out our Powered Path Playbook. It's an interactive digital course and analog tool that leverages your past and powers your future. helloraderco.com/playbook. Many of our listeners use our podcasts as discussion points for team meetings. If you want tailored team training or coaching, reach us at helloraderco.com. And lastly, if you're looking for more bite-sized tips, get a sneak peek of my latest book, Work Well, Play More, Productive, Clutter-Free, Healthy Living, One Step at a Time. It's 1 year behavior change in productivity, clutter, and health in novice, pro, and master levels. It's waiting for you at helloraderco.com/gift.